Hey guys, what is up? And today I'm doing my top 5 wrestlers who should have been on the cover of WWE games. And before we get right into the video, I want to talk about my honorable mentions of people I think should have also been on the game, but they didn't make my list. I didn't want to make a top 10 because I think my list was solid enough, and these honorable mentions, yes, I want them to be on the game, but I didn't want them more than the other people so far. So here we go. My first honorable mention is Edge, and he was a really influential figure all throughout his feud with John Cena for the title, and I honestly think that he should have gotten in there, especially with the stuff he was doing with Lita, his battles with Matt Hardy. He definitely was a big time player during the Ruthless Aggression era. Sorry for stumbling on my words. My second honorable mention, here it goes to JBL, simply because of the fact that he was the longest reigning champion in SmackDown history. It means something, especially during the SmackDown vs. Raw games. I really think he should have been on the cover, especially for the SmackDown side. And my final honorable mention is Roman Reigns. And I know you might be saying, boo, that dude, yes, he's not over with the fans, and that is very important when you're marketing a game. But there was a point where he was kind of over for the fans when he was chasing for the title and just seemingly could not do it pay-per-view after pay-per-view. During that point, fans really wanted to see him win, seemingly, and at that point, I think it might have been good to have him on the title, and then after he finally got his push, that's when people didn't like him. It was really funny seeing that kind of transition, but I think he should have kind of been on the game. So here we go, let's get right into the actual list. Let's go. Coming up at number 5, we got Daniel Bryan. The reason he is at number 5 and not higher up on my list is simply because he technically was on the cover of a game. On the alternate cover of WWE 2K14 was Daniel Bryan on the underside. Hell, if you have the game, go check it now. If you flip the cover over, it's Daniel Bryan. It is an older picture of Daniel Bryan, not the one where he was at the time, but still he was on the cover. Instead, you got The Rock as your main cover, so that's why he's put here, because my list is intended for people who were the main of the cover, not in the background, not as an alternate cover. But Daniel Bryan really definitely deserved having multiple championships under his belt, holding actually every single one of the current titles in the company at the time, not including what I think is going to be coming up, the Cruiserweight title, but I'll get into that into another video. But I think he definitely deserved being here, especially after his WrestleMania match, and especially after all the hype he got, even after his retirement, which after the game was announced, I really was hoping he was going to be in the cover for that, and not Brock Lesnar. I really thought it was going to be him. And I don't understand why he was not. Maybe he might be an alternate cover again, but really does not do him any justice, because literally this man was the most over in the company. Okay, at number 4, we got Kane. Kane literally has one of the most historic stories in all of wrestling. He's the brother of Kane, and they had that backstory. He faced Undertaker at 3 separate WrestleManias, and he was one of the biggest hitters on Raw Attitude Era back in the day, and he really deserved to be on the game. I'm talking back on the PlayStation 1 when they had WWF Attitude and all of these, and even on the N64. He should have been on at least one cover of the game, and I know he was technically on one of the background, but I really do think he should be on the main. The same what I had with Daniel Bryan. That's why I put these guys lower on the list, because they were kind of on a cover. I'm talking about main cover, and I think both of those guys really deserved it, especially Kane right here. Because, yes, he only had the title twice, technically, a main title, let me clarify, once for one night, and then Steve Austin beat him for it the next night, and then another, he beat Rey Mysterio for it, but he cashed in. He's historic in the fact that he actually cashed in the same night, and he was the first person to ever do that. So it adds another reason to his story and his lineage to why he deserved to be on the cover of a game. And it was really, really sad to not have seen him being more of a bigger threat along the lines as much as Undertaker was later down in the line in WWE history. So I think maybe coming up, maybe one day he kind of gets on one if they do another thing based on the Attitude Era like they did. But CM Punk was on the cover of that one. It would have been nice to maybe see Austin or The Rock, or maybe, hell, even in that case, Kane. Okay, my pick for number 3 is HBK Shawn Michaels. My friends know that I think he is the greatest of all time, and that does not affect that I think he should still just be at number 3. My number 2 are big ones, and I really do have reasons for them. Now, Shawn Michaels, he again is one of the cases where he was kind of on a cover on WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. Yep, I got it on the T. I got my facts, bro. He was also in a game in your house back in, I think, 1997. Oh, again, facts. I am on fire today. But it still doesn't distinct the fact that I don't think it should have been the WWE Attitude Era when he came back. I think it should have been when he actually came back during the Ruthless Aggression Era. Love my stuttering. Where he got on a cover of a game. It would have made way more sense being his comeback story where he had that historic rivalry with Triple H and where he won the World Heavyweight Championship. It would have been really refreshing to see not just Triple H and Goldberg and these people who were on covers at the time. Hell, I even think Big Papa Pump got on the cover. Why did that even happen? He was just flexing a muscle the whole time. Go look, it was on the Xbox. It was WWE Raw. Why did you even let that happen? And you passed up Shawn Michaels. I will never know. This man is the GOAT. Okay, so back before I start fanboying again, let's get to my number 2. For my pick for number 2 is kind of cheating. It's not 1, not 2, but 3 people. Technically, I think Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love should have been the cover of the game at some point. My hope would have been WWE 13 when they did the Attitude Era. It would have been really cool to see him on all three on the front cover, but that just didn't happen. He's such a huge icon in the Attitude Era, involved in many huge storylines. He's had the title twice, and he's had multiple titles. He's tagged with just about everybody and won a championship with them. He's one of the best people to put on the cover because he's the most relatable. He's this down-to-earth guy. He's this working-class man, and you can relate to him so well. Just wants to get in, wants to get ahead of life. And hell, even this, I got Dude Love just joking around wearing a blazer coming down the ring. That's the kind of stuff you can look for in Dude Love, and I really think that all 3 of his faces of Foley should have been in the game. Hell, even throw in Mick himself, but we never got that. I would have appreciated maybe at least getting The Rock or Stone Cold. I don't understand. Yes, I understand the whole pipe bomb thing came out, but if it's a game based around the Attitude Era, I think it would have made a little bit more sense to put someone like Mick Foley who can go through the different kind of looks and transform his character 3 different ways during the whole Attitude Era, and that is crazy how he could do that, and it's amazing. It shows how well of a talent he was for being able to do that, especially during a pivotal time. Grammar, let me tell you about my grammar during the Attitude Era, and we just never got to see that. I hope maybe down the line we get to see something like that again. Alternate cover, like I said before, alternate cover maybe on another game based around the Attitude Era, or held during a game based around WCW. We will never see that. I will bet anything on that. Watch WWE 2K17 is based around WCW. Okay, so now let's get to my biggest one, number 1, on why I think he should have been on a WWE cover. My pick for number 1 is Seth Rollins, the man that is more synonymous with Money in the Bank than people who have cashed in twice successfully. He's made history with the Money in the Bank. He's made history leading up to WrestleMania 31 when he did cash in to win the title. He broke up one of the biggest factions in WWE history, and he's proud of it. This man is, even though he likes to go and brag in promos saying he carried the company on his back, but I bet you can't look back until he got injured on Raw and not remember every single moment what he did as kind of badass and really entertaining. This man was seemingly like the face of the company, and he didn't get the typical payoff of being on the title. And it was just odd. It was really odd because he had the title long enough to where it seemed this year, especially after he got injured, and when they announced that Brock was on the cover, it would have made a lot more sense if Daniel Bryan or if Seth Rollins got on the cover. Seth Rollins coming back sooner than later. It would have been nice to pair up Seth Rollins coming back with his injury. It just seemed they missed the mark, but hey, he's still early in his career. We might see it happening very soon. Thank you guys for watching. If you like and want me to do more countdowns, leave in the description below. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Deuces.